Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to DAPS TV. Trust you're all doing fine. Trust you're all doing good. Trust you've all had a great week, and you're excited like me ahead of the weekend matches. Over this week, there was some European action. We saw the Champions League deliver a lot of big upsets. Real Madrid getting smoked. Bayern Munich getting smoked. We saw some big wins again. We saw Liverpool winning their game. We continue our good start to the season. We also saw Arsenal dispatching PSG as expected. PSG, obviously, my opinions on them is that they still need a lot more. Arsenal showed them levels in that game, and that was a very good match. But today what we're here for is we're here for the weekend Match Week 7 preview, and so far so good. The Premier League is delivering all the action. We're seeing a lot of actions, and also some big games are going on this weekend. So let's review them and let's preview and see what action we can be expecting. And so, starting with the first game is the early kickoff, and here we go. Liverpool early kickoff. We know our records with early kickoff. We have been notoriously known for, under the Klopp regime, notoriously known for playing very early kickoffs. The 12:30 kickoff, always Liverpool. So it's nice to see what the manager said. I've seen on his last press conference where he's talking about, he will be a really stupid manager if the boys are not ready to play at 12:30 when the training is at 12. So I liked that. I enjoyed hearing that from him. That shows me that, again, that's one of the things that have been changed from the previous regime in this new regime, and that's very good. So seeing their performance in this 12:30 kickoff is going to tell me a whole lot more about how far we've come as a team and what the new manager has tried to implement. So Crystal Palace away, I don't know what to think of this. Crystal Palace, they haven't won a game this season, I believe, but we all know that they have the potential. They are a very strong team. They also added some dynamic attackers over the summer with Eddie Nketiah and the other guy. So for me, it's very surprising. They are one of the teams that have surprised me negatively so far this season because I expected them to do a lot more better, and so far they've just not delivered. And we're on good form right now. We saw what we did to Bologna. They were a very decent team. They cost us a lot of issues at Anfield, but we took our chances. We managed the game properly, and we kept another clean sheet, which is very important. So the defense is definitely doing their job properly right now. And I must say, our midfield with Gravenberch and McAllister, I'm very, 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 very impressed with how well they're playing. Especially Gravenberch, given that he's not his natural position. So to easily fit in into that DM role, I think he's been the standout player of the Premier League so far, not just Liverpool, the whole of the Premier League. So hopefully they continue their strong vein of form. Tough away game at Crystal Palace. They're going to be looking for that first win, looking to take a big name down. So we have to be very careful with how we, approach this game. I think we have to be practical. We have to, in some instances, have to defend and manage the game properly. So I will go Jota up front in this match. I expect us to play instead of Nunes. We don't want anything chaotic. We want simple, straightforward performance. Mohamed Salah, again, he had a terrible first half against Bologna, but you saw what he can do. You saw the goal in the second half, and that's what Salah is done about. So this game, I'm just gonna predict a 2-0 Liverpool win. I don't think we're gonna blow them away or any crazy thing like that because they are a tough team. I'm telling you, Crystal Palace are very strong and can be tricky for any opponent in the Premier League. So I'm just gonna go for a conservative 2-0 win. Continue strongly for the Reds, and hopefully that's the case. Now the next match is the 3 p.m. kickoff. We have Arsenal against Southampton, and for me this is a one-sided. This is going to be a one-sided demolition job from Arsenal. Their defense is too strong. They are too organized for Southampton to be causing them any trouble at the Emirates Stadium. So I'm just going to go for 5 or 6-0 win. I'll go for 5-0 Arsenal. I just think eventually their attack has to click into form at some point, and they have to trash some teams seriously. So I think Southampton are so far. Again, I'm not sure if they've won a game this season, but let's see. I think Arsenal would demolish them at the Emirates very comfortably. Next match we have is, I believe, Brentford against Wolves. And again, this is another very tricky game, a very decent match in the sense that both teams play very attacking football, both teams play dynamic football. Wolves, on the other hand, I feel like their start to the season has not been justified by their performances. They've been playing very good football, and somehow they are not getting any wins because they are just leaking too many goals. But still, in games, the performances they put in, especially against us last week, I was very impressed. Like they kept the ball very well. Gary O'Neill has been playing some tidy and clever football, but it's just not putting the ball in the back of net and creating attacks is where their weakness lies. So again, Brentford on the other hand, under Thomas Frank, you know what you expect from Brentford. You know what they're on about. You know what they're going to do in the game. And I think they're going to convert their home advantage. And I'll go for a 2-1 Brentford win. 2-1 or 3-1. I think Brentford will win this game. Next game, we have Leicester against Bournemouth. And for this one, again, both teams, Bournemouth, I retired on Leicester. Leicester, I just feel like they are not, cut out for the Premier League. I don't see them causing too many trouble this season for most teams. If most teams play to the correct level, they should be able to beat Leicester. Although they are playing at home, so it might be tricky for Bournemouth. But I just feel like with the amount of attacking players that Bournemouth have, if they put in a proper shift, they should be able to convert a win against Leicester City at home. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Bournemouth victory over Leicester. Next game, we have Manchester City against Fulham. And again, Man City, we saw their performance. They had to bounce back, having not won it. Last weekend, they drew against Newcastle, which was a terrible result for them because they had to win that game. Newcastle have not been in the best of form. And they're without Isak as well, their star striker, to still draw the game. I'm sure Guardiola must have been fuming at that result. And then we saw their performance in the midweek away to Static Bratislava or something like that. And they won 4-0 and it could have been 10. Just attack after attack. So that tells me that he has definitely told them, you have to wake up. So I think Fulham, even though they're on good form, they're catching Man City at the wrong time now because Man City need a bounce back victory. And I think they're going to, be looking for demolition against Fulham. So they might just dispatch of Fulham very comfortably. I'll go for 4-0 Manchester City win. Even though Fulham have been playing very well under Marco Silva this season, I just think City will run riots against them because they have to stabilize and prove that last weekend was a fluke. So the next game we have is West Ham against Ipswich. West Ham again, I keep repeating that their manager is just not up to standard. Julian Lopetegui is very, very, it's an underwhelming appointment as far as I'm concerned. They have a lot of good players in West Ham. Kudus is there, Paqueta is there, but the manager is not utilizing his resources and is not getting the best out of them. So we can say the opposite for Ipswich. Ipswich under the McKenna guy, he has them playing some good football. They've won a few games this season. They look very strong. We saw how they drew Aston Villa last week. It was a hard-fought game. Aston Villa couldn't find it easy at all. Right? So, again, if West Ham are not careful, I can see them losing to Ipswich. Even though it sounds crazy, losing at home to Ipswich, I think it might just spell the end already for the managers. Because some managers are already under serious pressure this season. Because they've started so poorly. And I think Julian Lopetegui is definitely one of the managers on that list. So losing at home to Ipswich might just be the nail in the coffin for him getting sacked before 10 Premier League games. So I'm going to go for Ipswich 2-1 victory for Ipswich. They are the better coached team, but not necessarily the better team, but the better coached team. So I just think they will edge this one. Next game and the last game for Saturday, we have Everton against Newcastle. Everton, I predicted them to have a very terrible season because of their lack of action in the transfer window. And now they have to play Newcastle at home. Last weekend, I believe they beat Crystal Palace somehow. They managed a victory in that game, but playing Newcastle at home, and I don't know what to say for this game here. Newcastle, they've not been on the best of form. They have not played to their levels yet, but I still think they can beat Everton. I think if they put in a proper defensive performance and their attackers start firing again, Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon, Bruno Guimaraes, and Tonali, they play up to their standard. They should be able to secure a win against Everton at home, even because Everton's defense is just so bad and their attack is not really something to worry about that much. So Newcastle depends on what kind of performance they put in, but if they play to their level or anywhere near their level, they should be able to collect all 3 points against Everton. Now let's move on to the Sunday kickoff, and this is where all the entertaining games are. The Sunday kickoff, first one, our beloved Manchester United going away to Unai Emery, and we're gonna be eating good in this fixture. I can tell you for free. Seeing Eric Ten Hag, bottling a 2-goal lead away to Porto in the Europa League, it's ridiculous. We saw them get slapped 3-0 at home against Tottenham last week. We see the meltdown in the fan base, and I'm telling you, life cannot be better for a Liverpool fan right now. Seeing us top of the league and the Manx getting destroyed is definitely what the Premier League needs for sure. And now they're going away to Aston Villa, so I'm telling you, they have no chance. Aston Villa coming up with strong victory, one of the best performances of the season at home against Bayern Munich, high-flying Bayern Munich, beaten by Aston Villa at home in the Champions League. Do you know the amount of confidence that will give their players? So to go away to them right now, for a team that is even playing well is definitely not secure. Now imagine a team playing as poorly as Man United. I'm telling you, these guys are getting slapped. I'm gonna go for 1-0 victory or whitewash. I just believe that Aston Villa are going to destroy Man United, and it could be, the curtains on the wall. The famous saying, the curtains on the wall for Eric Ten Hag. Going away to Aston Villa is definitely not where you want to be going right now when your job is on the line. So it's going to make for great Sunday evening. Seeing Man United away at Aston Villa is going to be a good match, and we're definitely going to be tuning to that. The next game we have Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. Chelsea have been on ridiculous form at the moment, slapping every team right, left, and center. Nottingham Forest, yes, they have good defense and a little bit of solidity, but going away to Stamford Bridge is definitely tall order for them. So I'm just going to go for a 3-1 Chelsea victory, standard performance at home. Chelsea, they have too many technical, dynamic, and sharp attacking players that I don't see any of these small teams, having a chance against them, because even though they consider a lot of chances, because their defense is not the best. Their attack with Cole Palmer, he's just a ridiculous player. By the way, a ridiculous player, the best player in the Premier League as far as I'm concerned this season. So their attack is too dynamic. Having Joao Felix, Jadon Sancho, Christopher Nkunku, Pedro Neto, Madueke, Palmer. It's just too much for most of these teams to handle, and Nottingham Forest is definitely probably cannot live with that. So we'll have to see. I'm just going to go for a 3-1 Chelsea victory, simply because their defense is if not because of their defense, I'll have them definitely up there for the title race this season. If they improve their defense and their goalkeeper, they're definitely a team that the Premier League should be watched for. They can easily win the Premier League because the manager is good. He has the good ideas, right ideas to football, and his defense is the only thing letting him down at the moment. So if he gets that fixed, then they are definitely want to keep an eye for the Premier League. Dark horses, as far as I'm concerned. And then the final match of the game week, Brighton host Tottenham Hotspur, and this one is one of those games that would, deliver crazily. Both teams with crazy high lines for attacking managers. And for this one, I don't know what to predict. I definitely know there will be a lot of goals in this fixture. There's always a lot of goals in this fixture. I believe last year it was a 6-goal thriller. Tottenham won 4-2, I believe, in this game last season. So you know for sure that it's going to deliver a lot of goals. So the way I'm looking at it, I just think I'm going to go for a draw in this game, like a 2-2 draw. But it definitely depends on which team is able to take their chances on the day, because both teams we know are going to create a lot, and it's definitely going to be very interesting seeing how both managers approach it. Who is going to change their pattern? Brighton will play with a very, very crazy high line. Tottenham, we know they play with the highest line in the Premier League. So it's like we have to see if any manager adapts their tactics to the game, and then which players can take their chances in the game. I think that's gonna heavily, tell us who wins the game. So I'm gonna go for a draw right now because I don't know what else to predict. Both teams very attacking, and that is I believe, the weekend roundup. We'll see and tune in for my match reactions or my if I do any watch alongs. Get your notifications turned on, subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.